Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Blackwing deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because Blackwings are my favorite deck of all time. I absolutely love their playstyle, and with this build, you can even skip your opponent's turn, which is absolutely insane. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description for every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Simoon. Simoon is the most important card in the entire deck to see as an opening play, because this card is absolutely crazy that if you control no monsters and you have this card in your hand, you can manage another Blackwing monster from your hand, place Black Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone, then either send this card to the grave or immediately as effect resolves, you get to normal summon this card without tributing, and it doesn't count towards your normal summon for the turn, which is absolutely insane. It just gets your entire plays rolling, and this card is the most important card in the deck to see in your opening hand with any other Blackwing, so you can go full combo. We then play 3 copies of Sudri. Sudri is definitely a 3 of in the build as well, with this card having the ability, when this card is normal summon, you get to add 1 card that mentions Blackwing Dragon from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a crazy powerful effect because there's a lot of cards in the deck that you can search with this card's ability. And this card also has the ability to generate tokens because you contribute 1 monster to special summon out a Phantom Glimmer token to your side of the field. It's a Wing Beast, Tuner, Dark, level 2, 700 attack and 700 defense, then takes 700 points of damage, but you cannot special summon monsters from the extract the turn you activate this particular effect, except for Synchro monsters, which is a little bit of a downside, but it depends on what you're going up against, depends on if you're going to use that effect or not. We then play 3 copies of Shamal. Shamal is definitely a 3 of as well, and this card is extremely important because this card can be sent from your hand or field to the graveyard to place a copy of Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone, which is really important to be able to get your copy of Black Feather Whirlwind on your side of the field because it's basically Monster Reborn. This card also has the ability if a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your side of the field while this card is in the graveyard, except during the damage step, you banish this card from your graveyard, target a Blackwing monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand, and then take 700 points of damage, which is great to recover resources out of the graveyard with this card's ability. We then play 3 copies of Vada. Vada is really important for the deck to help you go in for your copy of Blackwing Dragon, because if you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a great ability, and it also has a really insane effect that during your main phase, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard, and also along with 1 or more non-tuner Blackwing monsters from your deck, so that they equal a total level of 8. And if you do, special summon out a Blackwing Dragon from your extract, which is a really cool ability to be able to get your copy of Blackwing Dragon out from your extract by using just this card, say a Sapphiros the Elite, and a copy of like a Chinook from your deck, which is just really important to be able to get them into the graveyard so you can start resolving cards like Sapphiros' ability, and also get a copy of Blackwing Dragon on your side of the field so you can step into your copy of Blackwing Assault Dragon, which is just insane. We then play a single copy of Sapphiros the Elite. Sapphiros the Elite is very important to be able to play in the deck as a 1-up, because this card bounces a card from your side of the field back to your hand, then special summons this card from the graveyard. You take 400 points of damage, but it's amazing to be able to get this card back in your hand so you can restart cards like your copies of Black Feather Whirlwind, which is amazing to be able to bounce, and the best target to be able to bounce off your copy of Sapphiros' ability is your copy of Black Feather Whirlwind, because it is a soft once per turn, so you can reactivate it again and then get its effect off to go a second time, which is just amazing. We then play a single copy of Gale the Whirlwind. Gale the Whirlwind is amazing as a 1-of in the deck, because if you control another Blackwing, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it also has a crazy powerful effect that you can actually half the attack points of 1 face-up monster on the field, which is just so good about this card. We then play a single copy of Hamat the Dust. Hamat the Dust is really good as a 1-of in the build, because if you control a Blackwing monster other than a copy of Hamat the Dust, then you can special summon this card from your hand, and when this card is normal or special summon, you can actually target one of their Blackwing monster that you control and increase this card's level by that monster's level, which can help you level modulate this card to go in for synchro plays, which is really cool. We then play a single copy of Shurunga. Shurunga is one of my favorite Blackwings now because this card has so many different plays that you can pull off with this card, but it's really good because if a monster with 2,000 or more attack is on the field, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is a great ability just to instantly get this card out on your side of the field. If you control a Blackwing synchro monster, quick effect, banish this card from the grave, target a face-up card your opponent controls, and destroy it, which is great at popping cards on your opponent's side of the field, which is just so important about this card. We then play a single copy of Chinook. Chinook is really good in the deck as a 1-up because this card helps out as a hand trap, which is why we play this card as a 1-up in the build, but usually I end up just sending it to the graveyard off the copy of Vada to be able to summon out Blackwing Dragon. We then play a single copy of Orochi the Squall. Orochi the Squall is a card that I love in this deck because it helps us go in for synchro plays. If you control a Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, which is the main effect we're using on this card just to extend our plays and go in for more synchro plays. We then play a single copy of Raider's Wing. Raider's Wing is really good for our Raid Raptor and Phantom Knight package. This card is great in the deck because it has the ability, this card is always treated as a Phantom Knight monster and a Raid Raptor card, and if this card is in your hand or grave, you can detach the material from a Dark XZ monster to special summon this card but banish when it leaves the field, which is great to be able to get this card into your graveyard, be able to detach the last material from Arsenal Falcon, so you can use your copy of the Phantom Knight's rank up magic launch to make your copy of your Arsenal Falcon into a copy of Duo King Cal Yugioh, which is insane to be able to just do that and turn your opponent's entire turn off. We then play a single copy of Assault Synchron. Assault Synchron is our small world bridge, and it's just a really good card to be able to use in the deck. If you do draw into it, you can summon it to your side of the field. You take 700 points of damage, locks you into synchro monsters while it's on the field, but it's still really good to play in the deck as a small world bridge because if you do draw into it, you can still use it. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's amazing in the deck as a 3-up to basically just stop your opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler is also really good in this deck as a 3-up, just to be able to stop your opponent's monster effects, and it's really good this format. So, that's going to do it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of the Phantom Knight's Rank Up Magic Launch. This card is very important at turning our copy of Arsenal Falcon into a copy of Duo King Cal Yugioh, and it's a very important 1-of in the deck that's super easy to get to, and it's just a really awesome card. We can play a single copy of Black Feather Whirlwind. I feel like 1 is all you need now for this card. I played this card at 2, I played it at 1. I feel like 1 is fine. I've never really thought at 3 it was really needed, but I feel like 1 is perfect for this build because you don't draw into it. It's really good in the deck to be able to get to with your copy of Shamal, and it's basically Monster Reborn because once per turn, if you special summon a Dark Synchro monster from your extract, except during the damage step, you can target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwing Dragon that's banished or in the graveyard with less attack than the special summon monster and special summon it back to your side of the field, essentially being Monster Reborn, which is just absolutely insane. Also, once per turn, if a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can actually remove a Black Feather counter from your field instead, which is great to be able to protect your monsters with cards like Blackwing Dragon or Blackwing Assault Dragon, which is really nice. We then play 3 copies of Small World. Small World is really good in the deck as a 3-up because we have so many cool bridges in the deck for Small World to be able to search out, and you really want to use this card to help you get to Simoon in your particular deck, but you can basically use any Blackwing in your deck with your copy of Assault Synchron and then go from Assault Synchron into your copy of Blackwing Simoon, which is really important to be able to do, but there's also a lot of other Small World bridges you can use in the deck, but that's the main one we use in this build. We then play 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Pot of Prosperity is really good in the deck as a 3-up, just to help you dig into the deck to get more combo pieces, because you really need to get to Simoon as quickly as possible. So this card is really important for the deck, and just an overall fantastic card. You don't need everything in the extract, so this card can help out a lot. Sometimes I also just banish 3 cards instead of banishing 6, depending on what I see my hand is like, but it's still a really good card to be able to use in this build. We then play 3 copies of Black Whirlwind. Black Whirlwind is so important. This card is so good and such a powerful card because it's not a once per turn, it's a once per normal summon, and we can normal summon multiple times in a turn, and this card is really good because when a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack, then that monster, which is great to be able to search out any Blackwing we basically need from our deck. And this card is just really good as a 3 of in the build. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to start off with a single copy of Blackwing Twin Shadow. I absolutely love Twin Shadow, and I feel like this card is actually one of the most powerful cards in the entire deck, because this card helps you make another boss monster during your opponent's turn. It helps you out with so many different plays. It can recover. It's just really good in this deck as a 1 of. It's searchable, and I feel like 1 is all you need. You're never going to play this card at more than 1, but it lets you shuffle 2 of your Blackwing monsters, a tuner and a non-tuner that's banished or in your graveyard, into the deck or extract to special summon a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing dragon from your extract, whose level equals the level of those 2 monsters, and it's treated as a synchro summon. And if you control 2 or more Blackwing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand, making it a hand trap to help you step into cards like Full Armor Master, which is just so cool. And this card helps you out a lot in the deck. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is really good as a 3 of in the build, just to stop your opponent's monster effects and lock down entire columns of spells and traps. This card is really good as a 3 of in the build, and it's just an overall fantastic hand trap in the deck. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get in to the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with Blackwing Assault Dragon. And something important to remember about this card is if you can make 1, you can make 2, which is really cool about Blackwing Assault Dragon. It has the ability that it must either be synchro summoned or special summoned from your extract by banishing a tuner, synchro monster, and a black winged dragon from face up from your side of the field or your graveyard, which is how you make the second one always. You usually make your first one by synchro summoning a level 2 copy of your Boreas Storm plus a copy of Blackwing Dragon to make the first one, and then the second one you just banish the materials from the graveyard to be able to make the second one, giving you 2 monsters on your side of the field. And this card actually has one of my favorite effects in the entire game on it, with the ability each time your opponent activates a monster effect, you place a black feather counter on this card. And when that effect resolves, and if you do, inflict 700 points of damage to your opponent, which is a crazy powerful effect, and also has the ability that during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you contribute this card with 4 or more black feather counters on it to destroy all cards on the field, which is a really powerful effect for this card to have. And it's so cool to be able to put 2 of these on your side of the field to do 1400 points of burn damage to your opponent. And it's very easy to protect yourself with cards like Black Feather Whirlwind, which is so cool about this card, but it's a great 2 of in the build. We then play a single copy of Blackwing Full Armor Master. Full Armor Master is really good because it's unaffected by everything, which is just insane. And each time a monster your opponent control activates its effect, you place a wedge counter on that opponent's monster. And after it resolves, and once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls with a wedge counter on it, take control of it. And once per turn, also during your end phase, you can destroy all monsters you're on the field with wedge counters, which is a crazy powerful effect. We can play a single copy of Chaos Angel. Chaos Angel is just really good because if you put just Dark into this card, which usually you will, then monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, which is just really cool about this card. And also it's very easy to make because you don't even have to use a tuner to make this card, so it's really easy to step into this card. And also it has a great effect that when it's summoned to your side of the field, it banishes a card, giving you a little bit of spot removal as well. We can play a single copy of Draco Berserker. Draco Berserker is just really easy to make in the deck, and it's an overall fantastic card that banishes cards and helps you OTK your opponent. We can play a single copy of Borreload Savage. Borreload Savage is great in the deck to be able to step into as a walking negate, to be able to protect your plays so that you can go in for your copy of Duodon King Kal Yuga. We then play a single copy of Black Winged Dragon. 1 is all you need for this card, but this card is very important for the deck to help you step into your copy of Black Winged Assault Dragon and to use your copy of Vada. But this card is amazing because it eats damage for breakfast and it's just really good overall in the deck. We then play a single copy of Blackwing Obsidian Hawk Joe. This card is really good. The only downside of this card is it is a warrior, so you have to keep that in mind about this card. But this card lets you target a level 5 or higher winged beast type monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which is a great ability to bring back your Blackwings from the grave. You then play a single copy of Raikiri. Raikiri is insane because it just pops multiple cards on the field. Plus, you use these two on your side of the field to help you make your copy of Arsenal Falcon, which is very important to be able to play them both in the deck because you need 2 level 7 synchros to be able to make your copy of Arsenal Falcon because it's the only way we're going to get level 7s in the deck. We then play a single copy of Nothung. Nothung gives us an additional normal summon and does 800 burn damage to your opponent, which is just really good. This card is so important for combo and it's just a really good one-up. We then play a single copy of Borea Storm. Borea Storm is really good in the deck as a one-up as well, is if it's synchro summoned, you can send a Blackwing monster from your deck or to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes that monster, which you're usually going to send a level 2 to the graveyard, like a copy of Hamaten or Shurunga, to be able to turn this card into a level 2, which is just really good to be able to do, because once you do that, you're going to use this plus your copy of Blackwing Dragon, step into Assault Dragon, then banish these 2 from the grave to be able to make your second copy of Assault Dragon to do 1400 points of burn damage to your opponent every time they activate a monster effect. We then play a single copy of DDD Duo Dawn King Cal Yugioh. This is how we turn skip our opponent, and this card has the ability that after this card is XZ summoned for the rest of the turn, other cards and their effects cannot be activated on the field, and other cards and effects on the field are negated, which is really good to be able to just throw this card on your side of the field, and it's very easy to do in this build with your copy of Arsenal Falcon being the material you're going to use with the rank up magic spell to be able to make this card, and it also has a really insane ability that once per turn during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card, destroy all spells and traps on the field, which is really good to be able to just board wipe all the spells and traps, being Heavy Storm. We then play a single copy of Arsenal Falcon. Arsenal Falcon is great in the deck because once per turn you can detach a material from this card, special summon a level 4 Wing Beast monster from the deck, which is a really good ability just to be able to special summon a Wing Beast, detach a material, and just get a monster on your side of the field. But you're going to use this card to rank up into your copy of DDD Duo Dawn King Cal Yugioh. We then play a single copy of Rusty Bardiche. Rusty Bardiche is just a really good combo piece. And finally, we play a single copy of Wise Strix. Wise Strix is really good in the deck. Is if this card is Link Summon, you can special summon a level 4 Darkwing Beast monster from your deck in defense, but its effects are negated, and also it cannot be used as link material. And if your Raid Raptor XZ monster's effect is activated, you set a rank up magic spell directly from your deck and if it's a quick play spell, it can be activated this turn, which is usually how I get my copy of the launch quick play spell, the rank up magic, to be able to step into a copy of Duo Dawn King Cal Yugioh, and it's very easy to pull off in this deck. So that's going to do for this one, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun. I absolutely love Blackwings. It's my favorite deck of all time. It's crazy powerful how you can just step into all sorts of cool synchro plays, and it's just a really good deck. This deck is really good ever since we got this board. It was good before, but now it's just insane. This deck is really fun to be able to play, and with every new generic synchro monster, this deck just keeps getting better. So that's good news for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.